Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you all for joining. I'm just going to share my screen, but I'm going to be talking about promoting functional communication with AAC. And to just go off of what Mandy was saying in her presentation with the functional communication books, I saw a lot of questions in the chat that I just want to address briefly about multilingualism and promoting bilingualism with our students with special needs. Briefly, I'm just going to say that just as Michelle and Maddie were talking about in their presentations with the foundations of language and promoting that house structure, students need, and our children need, a foundation of language before they can learn a second language. So we want to promote that home language that families are speaking at home and within the home with our students with special needs before they learn a second language. So promoting Swahili, promoting Urdu, promoting Farsi, whatever your native language is, so they get that input so that they can learn a second language, so that they can learn English or whatever their second language is. So if you have any questions about bilingualism, you could email me directly, but I just wanted to say that before starting. So again, I'm going to be talking about promoting functional communication using AAC. So what is augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC? So just as Maddie was talking about previously, it's any form of communication other than using words. So these can be pictures, gestures, manual signs. I'm going to be specifically talking about using a communication board with pictures and words. They were actually developed by Mandy, who just presented right before me. So these are communication boards that were made by her. And they're fantastic because they range off of a scope of different topics where you can use them across environments. So these types of communication boards, or AAC, can be used with any type of student, so a nonverbal student, one without verbal words completely, minimally verbal students, those students who have some words but need a little bit more visual help, and completely verbal students who do have verbal language but just benefit from that picture support. So this can be used with any type of student for any activity. So this can be prepping for mealtime, engaging in mealtime, getting ready for the day, bath time, washing your hands. It could be used for any activity anywhere, going to the market, walking down the street. We have to remember that augmentative and alternative communication, this is our students' voice, and this is their way of communicating with us. And we have to honor that in any setting, wherever we go, because this is how we can promote their independence and make them feel empowered. So these are the three questions that I'm going to be highlighting in my presentation today. So we want to look at, how does your student or your child use language in their own way already? How are they communicating with you? Because all of our students have their ways of communicating. We just may not be sure from our perspective. So just looking at those behaviors and seeing how they use language in their own way. What do I want to teach them to do? So what language skills am I going to teach them in order for me to get a clear message from them? And how can I get them there? What strategies am I going to use to promote these different types of communication functions? So we're going to go into all of this throughout the presentation. So question one, how does your student or your child use language in their own way already? So are they pointing to things? Are they gesturing to things? Do they take you by your hand and lead you to something that they want, a food item or a toy? Are they crying because you said no, or because they want something that they can't reach? Are they repeating a word or a phrase while directing you towards something, but you're not really sure what their message is? Are they saying a sound while pointing? So what for water, something like that. these students are ready for AAC. So we can start shaping their communication using these communication boards or pictures or whatever type of communication works for them. It's important to note that we want to make sure that our students, that we're honoring whatever our students feel comfortable with, and we are working with them, not forcing something on them. So do you see students, or are your children nonverbal or minimally verbal who have difficulty sharing a focus or imitating you? So just as Maddie was saying in her presentation about the importance of that foundation of language, those joint attention skills and those imitating skills, those gestures, that eye contact. If your child is having, or your student is having a little bit of difficulty with these skills, we want to start with these skills first, because this is the foundation for learning language, whether it be using AAC or verbal language. So these would be considered our pre-language, our pre-linguistic students. So just as Maddie was talking about in her presentation. So with these students, we want to focus on joint attention and imitating first, and then we could target AAC. So question number 2, what do I want to teach my student to do? So here is a list of some of the early communicative functions. So early communicative functions are the different language skills that we need to communicate throughout the day. Think about our day and all the types of communication that we initiate. We request things. I want juice. I want some water. Requesting more of something. I want more juice. I want more ball, more hugs. Greetings, saying hi, hello, and goodbye to people we pass on the street, to people that we work with, to people in our homes, our family members, when we speak on the phone or send videos. Commenting, any type of statement that we're making that's describing something or describing ourselves. If we're hungry or happy or sad, or any type of comment. Look, that's a big red apple, that's a tall tree. Any type of comment that we're expressing what we're seeing or describing. Requesting help. So if we need assistance with something, opening a container or fixing something, any skill that's difficult for us, we go and ask for help for someone else. Directing the actions of others. So telling other people what to do within the context of a game, an activity, or a vocation, a job. We're communicating with people saying, oh, give me the pen, give me the cup, your turn, you go. So using language to direct the actions of others to complete something. Saying no or rejecting. So if you don't want something, or we don't want, or we're stopping something, we're rejecting it, and saying finished, so terminating the action, and transitioning to a new activity, or acknowledging when something is finished, a meal, a game, etc. So I want you all to keep in mind too that with targeting these early communicative functions, it's important to use opportunities that are natural. We want to embed these opportunities, these language skills that we are teaching throughout our day, throughout meal times, throughout getting ready for the day, bath times, any time that feels natural to you, and within the context of your family or your school. And we want to make sure that if we are coming off natural and we are using those natural opportunities that are repeated throughout our day-to-day, that's how our students are going to learn. And that's how our students are going to see that as we are the model, and as we use these communicative functions naturally throughout the course of the day, they're going to see that pattern. They're going to see what we do and hopefully do it. So the first skill that I wanted to talk about was requesting. So as my presentation goes on, I'm going to be showing you videos of how I would target, or we would target these different types of communicative functions with a student using AAC. So I'll be providing video models of all of these, but just to briefly go over each function. So with requesting, we want to find any objects or actions that the student really likes. It could be anything. It could be jumping up and down if the student really likes that input, getting a hug, a ball, a food item, anything that the student really, really loves. And we want to use strategies to manipulate the environment to make sure that they're requesting for it. So holding the item and waiting for them to start a communication request. And then once they make that attempt, we want to give them that item immediately. When they say words, point to pictures, use their communication board, we want to give them that item immediately to reinforce that they're using their words and we're happy that they're using their mode of communication to request. So requesting more. It's important for students when requesting more. So this is, I want more juice. I want more apple. It's important for the students to understand how requesting works first. So the word more is not as clear as if we were requesting for apple, water, things like that. So we want to have the student get a handle on requesting first before we can add more into their vocabulary. So the following are going to be videos of showing how to model these two types of communicative functions. So this is right here is requesting.
This video will be targeting requesting. First, we want our students to start off with one symbol, ball or walk, to let us know that they want to play with the ball or go for a walk. Once we see that the student is consistent with using one symbol to request, we can add on our core words. So we can say, want ball or want walk. Once we see that the student is gaining more success with using two symbols and combining them, we can add on more to make a full request. I want ball or I want walk. I have the ball. Ball. I like the way you asked for the ball. Oh, it's my turn. And now, as the student gains more success using the single symbol for ball, we can add on our core words like I want and want. Want ball. I like the way you used your words to ask for the ball.
So as you see with that presentation, I'm facilitating that AAC with the single word first, and then we're adding on. It's also important to recognize that we want to highlight when we're positively reinforcing a behavior, we want to highlight what exactly it is that we want the student to do. So what I did was I said, I like the way you used your words to ask for the ball. So in that statement, highlighting what we liked about the student's behavior so that they have a clear idea of what we want for the next time when we're initiating communication. So next is requesting more.
In this video, we will be targeting requesting more of something, an action or an item. So first we want to see if the student has a good idea of requesting. So pointing to drink and knowing that they will receive the drink from a caregiver. So once the student has a good idea of requesting and how requesting works, we can add more into their vocabulary. So first we can start with more, and then as the student gains more success with more, we can add on more symbols. More drink. Drink. Oh, your drink is all finished. More drink. More drink. And as the student shows more success, we could start adding on more words. More drink. More drink.
So as you can see, I'm highlighting, I'm using my voice to echo what she's doing on her AAC board and just giving her more input of what the target is going to be. So saying more drink, I want more, and also using those strategies that Maddie was talking about in her presentation and that I'll discuss further along in the presentation. So next, greetings. So saying hi, hello, and goodbye. So when teaching greetings, we want to use real interactions and opportunities to teach the students. So making deliveries, greeting family members, sending videos, any natural opportunity that we would greet each other on the street, when we come home. All of those are great opportunities to teach our students hi, hello, and goodbye. So we could use real opportunities, take their communication board wherever you're going, and target those greetings wherever you see fit. Okay, next would be commenting. So saying things like hungry, happy, big tree, small apple, red apple, anything to describe what we're seeing or how we're feeling. We could use anything for comments, and we can incorporate natural comments into our everyday routines during meal times, during play times, during bath time, using pictures, books, objects, toys, activities, when going places, when walking down the street. We can use, you can shape your comments to whatever you want the student to do, and you could just model those comments wherever you go in whatever activity you're doing. And requesting help. So finding opportunities and tasks throughout the day that the student or your child needs your help. When giving them like a difficult to open object, or giving them that something, you know, high that they can't reach. These are all opportunities that they can request for help from you. First, when teaching help, we want to wait first to have them have a little bit of difficulty with whatever task they're doing, and then prompt to ask for help. So a great example of this is putting the object out of reach of the student. So they have to reach, they see that they can't do it on their own, and they need to ask for help. So these are going to be this is a video example of commenting.
In this video, we will be targeting commenting during lunch. So we will be targeting the words hungry and yummy to give us a little bit more insight on how the student is feeling and if he or she likes the food that they're eating. So teaching them these words and teaching them how to comment can give us a little bit more information about when a student is hungry and if they like certain foods or not.
Oh, you're hungry. Want food, want chips, sure. Oh, that's yummy. Yummy. So using a mealtime and using a naturalistic opportunity to add in those comments to have our student initiate when they're feeling hungry. So they give us a little bit more information about how they're feeling, sorry. And next is requesting help.
In this video, we will be targeting requesting help. So we want to target requesting help when we have an item or an activity that is difficult for the student. So that could be opening a container, opening a snack package, opening a drink, anything that the student needs your help with. So we are going to be targeting help with opening a container.
Oh, I need help. Help. So giving a little bit of time for the student to have difficulty opening a container, completing the task, and then prompting them to ask for help is a great way to teach that skill as well. Directing the actions of others. So telling other people what to do in the context of a job, during play, setting up for a mealtime. So what you want them to say depends on the activity. Oh, give me the cup. You go, your turn. So I'll be showing a video of that during play. So also saying no and rejecting. So this is a really powerful skill to teach for our students, especially our students who have who engage in challenging behaviors, who have sensory needs, but they just can't get their message across. So teaching no and teaching them to reject can really help us understand what they want and what they don't want. So we can use activities that are not motivating, or we could figure this out incidentally as we come across them in the day. If they're turning away from you, if they're pushing an item out of, you're giving them an item and they're pushing it out of the way, that can indicate that they're rejecting, they're saying no, and we could teach that skill that way. So just as Maddie was highlighting in her presentation, we can also sabotage and we can manipulate the environment. So we could give them the wrong thing on purpose for that. As they start to acquire the skill of rejecting, we could give them the wrong thing on purpose. If they ask for water and they want a juice, we could give them water and have them say, no, I want juice. So these are some videos highlighting this. This is directing actions.
In this video, we will be targeting directing actions and using words to direct other people on what to do. So we can use words like open, and my turn, and your turn to have our students direct other people in completing things during a game or other activity.
Oh, it's my turn. Want ball. Oh, want ball? It's my turn. Okay, your turn is finished. It's your turn. So the student was directing me for my turn, so I had to give her the ball, and then she was telling me, oh, it's your turn, making a comment that directed the activity back to me. So with directing actions, it all depends on what activity you're targeting, and you can use different directives, any natural directives that you go, your turn, I go, things like that to direct other people. And this is rejecting.
In this video, we'll be targeting rejecting or saying no or stop when the student is given an object or is doing an activity that they don't want or they don't want to do.
Do you want some water? Oh, we say no when we don't want. Do you want water? No. Do you want a hug? Oh, we say stop when we don't want. Stop. I like the way you used your words to tell me no. So as you see, the student was pushing my water cup away. The student was turning away when I offered a hug. These are all kind of body language and nonverbal ways of our students communicating with us and saying, no, I don't want that, or no, that doesn't feel good to me. Stop. So reading the students when they're crying, they're screaming, that's their way of communicating with us and showing us that they're rejecting. So we're just shaping that rejection into using AAC with that no or stop. And lastly, the last communicative function, terminating actions. So commenting when something is all done or finished. And this is important for helping students to move on to the next activity. When a mealtime is over, when a food item is done, when a book is over, when a game is over. A lot of our students have difficulty with transitioning and knowing when an activity ends and moving on to the next thing. And teaching this skill can help them transition and express that transition throughout language opportunities throughout the day. So this is terminating actions.
In this video, we will be targeting terminating actions or commenting when an activity is stopped or finished. This can be used with any activity that comes to an end. And we can have our students comment and say, finished, All done. And then we can add on. Book finished. The end. The story is finished. Finished.
So in this instance, I was using a book and the end of an activity. So we targeted finished, but we can, like I said, we can use that through any natural opportunity throughout the day. When a meal is finished and you're cleaning and it's time to clean up, for example. Question number 3. So we talked about all of these communication skills. How can I get them there as a teacher, as a parent? A lot of the strategies that Maddie was talking about in her presentation are some that I'm going to highlight right now. Parallel talk about what your student is doing, and self-talk using I statements. So talking about what we're doing and talking about what our students are doing, gives them that language input and creates that language environment to help our students attribute that language to what we're doing in our everyday lives and our natural opportunities. So talking about what our student is doing, oh, you're eating an apple, oh, you're drinking water, you're jumping up and down, using I, oh, I'm writing a note, I'm drinking coffee, things like that to attribute that language to those actions, just like Maddie was talking about. It's also really important for us when giving directives to speak in short sentences. So a lot of our students have some difficulty when they're bombarded with a lot of language in a very short amount of time. So when we're repeating things over, when we're repeating directions over and over again, give me the cup, give me the cup, give me the cup very fast. Our students have some difficulty just processing that information. So they need a little bit more time to just process what we're saying before we go in with another repetition, and making those sentences short and clear. You do, you go, to kind of give them time to process what they're about to do. And again, giving them a lot of wait time, at least 8 to 10 seconds before we go in with another one. Again, to just give them time to process, and that can decrease the frustration and the challenging behaviors that sometimes we see in our students when we're overloading their system with directions and things to do. Be a model. So all of these opportunities and all of these communication skills, we want to show our students how to do them. And we want to model using our face, using our words, our tone of voice, emphasizing the target words that we're teaching. Want help, I need help, to kind of make it a clear way to emphasize what the target is, so we can model, so they can get that input of what we're teaching them. Expansion, taking their sentences and adding more words. So if they say something like apple, we could say, oh, I see a red apple. Red apples are yummy. I love red apples. Kind of taking their sentences and adding more vocabulary to increase their language input as well. And just as Maddie was talking about previously, sabotage. So this is changing the environment in any way to help promote any of these communication skills. So giving them the wrong thing, putting something in sight but out of reach, holding an item and waiting for them to request. These are all things that we can do to promote them using language. And it's all about wait time. It's all about giving them time to initiate on their own without us helping them. And using routines, so mealtime, playtime, getting ready in the morning. Any routine that comes naturally to your family, comes naturally within the school environment. These can all be used for language, and it's just how we shape what we are doing and how we can be a model for them. So I just wanted to take some time just to emphasize how important playtime is for creating language-rich opportunities. So playtime is a great opportunity to teach our students how to use toys or objects, or to interact with peers functionally, how to engage with one another, with adults, with peers, and we can promote all of these language skills during playtime. We can promote requesting, directing, commenting during a game, and this is a great opportunity to promote all of these skills. And playtime is really, really important for our kids as well. So to wrap up, the importance of teaching functional communication using AAC. So we want to teach them functional communication to decrease those challenging behaviors. These challenging behaviors exist for a reason. This is our way of our students communicating with us. This is their way of telling us, you know, they don't want something or they do want something. And what we have to do is shape those behaviors into communication. And that's how we can do it. We want to teach them a sense of empowerment. We want them to feel proud to use their voice, to use their words, whatever modality that may be, using pictures, using some words, using a combination of everything like total communication, just as Maddie was talking about. And we want to promote a sense of independence. We want them to feel like they're part of the conversation, that they're part of our family, they're part of our school. So these are all important things to consider when teaching these skills. And just some takeaways: be a model for what you want to see with your students or your children, and incorporate language into anything. Incorporate language into things that you may not necessarily think.